Hey guys, I've got my first major upgrade that I'm going to do to the Jeep, and that is replacing the stock Rubicon rock sliders that came with the vehicle with a set of DV8 rock sliders that'll have a little step. These don't have a step at all, so it makes it really hard to get into the vehicle. There's literally nothing there to step onto, so you gotta kind of step all the way up inside the vehicle and pull yourself up. So I'll be installing the DV8 rock sliders with a step. It's only got a small step, but it'll be enough to at least protect the vehicle still and help to get into the vehicle. So here are the new rock sliders. This is obviously the back side of them. These are the DV8 SRGL-02s, I believe, is the model number for them. And they're pretty stout. They're super heavy. So we're going to install these on the vehicle, and we'll see how they look. Alright, well, I've got the rock sliders on the ground next to the vehicle. I'm going to be removing this rock rail here, and I guess I'll go ahead and show you how that's done, just in case you guys decide that you want to go to the same route. Alright, so we're getting up underneath here right now, and just to show you how everything's bolted in. So this is the bottom of the rock rail here, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 brackets that are underneath here that have bolts that are bolted to the body of the vehicle. So each one of these brackets here has 2 10mm nuts and 1 13mm bolt. So those need to be loosened up, and then the rock rail will kind of just sit there hanging on these screws that are right there, and until you pull it off. Alright, well, I'm going to pull this out. I got all of the nuts and the bolts out, so all I should have to do is lift up on this and pull straight back out. Okay, now watching other videos on doing the rock rails, I've found out that some of these holes aren't fully drilled out, which makes it pretty hard to get these rails on here. This hole right here, you can see, is much smaller and closed up than this one. So yeah, I could see how that's gonna be super difficult to get this rail on. I would say that screw that's going through there is almost identical to the size of that hole. Anyway, what I'm going to do before I go ahead and drill it is I'm going to at least attempt to get this rail on there without having to drill through. So I guess let's go ahead and try it. Alright, it's super close. Just getting really tight there with that hole that's not drilled out. It's so close. Just a hair more room, and it would be no problem. So yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to drill just this one hole a little bit more, and then everything should actually line up perfectly. Alright, well, I've got this drilled out, so I'm going to go ahead and apply some touch-up paint to that. Okay, so all I needed to do was to that front bolt up there, that hole there drilled out, and then everything else slid into place. So I'm gonna go ahead and crawl underneath there and start tightening everything up. Alright, well, this is the hardware that it came with. So looks like I've got the vertical bolts for the bracket. I've got a bunch of nuts, washers, and I'm going to go ahead and start bolting everything up. But one thing that it did not come with, and I checked through the box and all the wrapping several times, it didn't come with any instructions. And I went on the website, couldn't find any instructions there either. So not that this is that hard, but the hardest part was to figure out which side the rails went on. They weren't marked right hand or left hand any way that I could see, so I kind of had to look through pictures online to find out you know, there's a flat piece here that goes to the front, and that's the only way that I knew. So I'm very disappointed that they couldn't have thrown in some paper instructions. Even if it's a simple install, there should be something, but it's the only negative so far. Alright, I am just finishing up tightening the last bolt on the rail here. I'm kind of snugging them down because since I don't have directions with a torque spec, you know, I'm just kind of having to go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and torque this down. Alright, well, here's the finished product on the passenger side of the vehicle. So it gives me, I don't know, like a few inches, not much, a few inches of a step. It's better than it was before, that's for dang sure. So yeah, I should be able to get up a little easier now. Perfect. Alright, we'll move on to the driver's side. I'll go ahead and knock that out. Alright, well, here's the finished product. I think they look pretty good. The driver's side was a little bit harder to put on than the passenger side. I had to drill out more holes and made it a little bit more difficult. So I think they're pretty good looking. They come with these replaceable panels underneath here in case you mess one up and you need to replace it, so you can just remove these bolts out of there and replace the panel there. Anyway, they're pretty heavy. I don't know if they're heavy duty, like they're gonna hold up or not, but they're definitely heavy. Well, thanks for watching. I've got a front-facing camera that'll mount right in there that I'm gonna install soon, so I'll do a video on that. So make sure that you subscribe and set your notifications. Until next time, thanks for watching.